So as I'm recording this, right now, it's just about the end of the season where people are taking down their Christmas lights, those of you that are going to take them down. And that reminds me of a friend of mine named Dan from Bible study who had this really creative way of setting up and putting down the Christmas lights at his house. Here he is with our Bible study leader at the Grand Canyon. And this isn't a real picture, it's just kind of a picture that I created, but it symbolizes something that happened about 18 months ago. Our leader, Marty, here, he's on the left. Well, Marty was in the hospital with a condition that would shortly take his life and bring him into the presence of Jesus. But we didn't know that at the time, whether or not he would survive. So we were praying for Marty. And Dan here on the right was on a trip to the Grand Canyon when he emails me to encourage me and the rest of the leaders that he had a dream about Marty across the Grand Canyon that he took to be a comfort to him and the rest of us, that Marty was in good hands. So about a month later, when Dan was back in home and a bunch of us were on Zoom waiting to start our Bible study meeting, we were chatting as we waited for the others to log on. And Dan shared that he had spent some of the last couple of days putting up the Christmas trees, the Christmas lights at his house, which for me was a cause for some alarm, and that Dan was a little bit older and had a couple of leftover war wounds from Vietnam, which left him less mobile than most people. So as he's telling about putting up the Christmas lights at his house, I've got this image from a scene in the Christmas Vacation movie that's going on in my mind. I'm thinking, I've got to gently admonish Dan that this is not a good idea. And so I went on to say, hey, Dan, are you sure you should be doing that? And he went on to explain that he did not use a ladder, but he used a tractor to get his lights up. He would load the lights in the front of the bucket, and then his wife would get into the bucket, and he would drive around the house while she attached the lights, and he would be lifting her up in the tractor. Well, this whole mental image of that going on, for me, it kind of tickled me pink. I thought that was awesome. Not only did it seem way safer, but that's a great example of exactly just how we get stuff done here in America. It's just the kind of Yankee ingenuity at work that has made this country as great as it is. And so I say to Dan, this is what you need to do. When you go to take these lights down, you need to take a picture of this process in action, and then you're going to use that picture as the Christmas greeting card next Christmas season that you send out to everybody. Because I'm thinking, this picture of this situation going on would win every single Christmas greeting card contest ever. I mean, wouldn't you think? I think so. But he just kind of laughed it off as if he thought I wasn't serious. But I was very serious. But he took him down. They didn't take a picture. So in my mind, I'm thinking when he goes to put up those lights the next year, I might just need to do some kind of special ops, hide in the bushes thing, so I could take a picture of this process, because I think it's a great picture. But the sad part was that not only did we lose Marty shortly thereafter, but we then lost Dan about a year, almost exactly a year later. So that is and has been bitter for us, in that we're left here without them. But it's sweet for them in that they're in the presence of Jesus now, which is a situation made possible only by the fact that Jesus came as a baby and then lived and died for our chance to be in his presence when we die, which is the exact thing that we are celebrating when we put up and take down all these Christmas lights. So now for them, it's like they get to be in a Bible study with the Matthew. And here I mean like the disciple Matthew as their group leader, and then they have Jesus as their teaching leader. So that's a pretty awesome situation for them. But now it turns out, concerning the picture of the putting up of the Christmas lights using a tractor, it turns out that I was not able to let that go. And so I took it upon myself to recreate that situation using internet stuff in order to give myself a sense of closure. So I hope you enjoyed this story at least half as much as I enjoy sharing it. But more than that, I hope that you too are looking forward to the day when you get to be in Jesus's presence for eternity. That is the hope that we celebrate and remind ourselves of when we do all this putting up and taking down of these Christmas lights.